how's it going, everybody? Welcome. Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a wonderful, wonderful weekend for me. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. It's done and over with now. Nothing special about these days. So back to work. I really, had a good time. Took the day off. Went Sunday actually to Hollywood Studios over at Disney. Had a good time with the little one. But all the while just thinking about this market here because tonight, if you're interested, is the Trump versus Kim Jong Un showdown. It will make for great primetime television for sure. I believe the festivities start around 9 o'clock tonight Eastern time if you're interested. By the way, if you're watching this for the first time and you are not one of our customers at Jazz Wealth, keep us in mind. We're an investing service. We handle all the investments for you. We help you with your financial plans. We help you with anything that touches your dough. And in the meantime, we'll make sure you're invested correctly. On our website, click on portfolios. You can actually see all of our funds and the performance of those funds, which never cost you anything to participate in. And of course, the performance is posted and updated weekly. So be sure to check that out. Also, we're always doing events for our customers. If you want to see what type of events those might include, we're getting ready to update that tomorrow, actually. So you'll be able to see some of the events on the website if you like. And of course, if you want to join us, whether you're opening, transferring, or rolling over an account that you may have, jazzwealth.com, just click Invest Now. You're also welcome to schedule a call to speak with me. I moved the Chat with Jazz thing on the website. Well, I didn't move it, but I had it moved. Chat with Jazz. I'm going to see if we can get that put back into the forefront there because some people would rather talk rather than send an email, and I totally understand that. We are talking about your investments after all. So aside from that, you're not here for a promotion. You're here to talk about the markets and see what happened. My bet, so we've got the Trump Un showdown coming out this tonight. My bet is that Trump walks away. I think he's not going to get what he wants very early in the conversation. I think it's going to essentially be labeled as that he walked away. We have a friendly little bet going on here in the office, and we'll see what happens with that. So be sure to stay tuned. We'll, of course, keep you posted tomorrow. We'll be talking about this for sure. I'll tell you what, between today and tomorrow, if you're a company, a public company, and you've got some bad news to put out there, what a great time to say something bad about earnings or sales or whatever, because nobody's going to care. Everybody's going to be focused on Trump and the Kim Jong Un meeting to see what happens there. So nobody's even going to notice if you say anything that happens to be, if a company says something bad. Yep, this is certainly live. I'll answer questions at the end if you do have questions. In the meantime, I'm going to go over to the markets. Let's talk about what is going on with the markets, because today nobody could care a thing about the markets. I'll tell you exactly what happened here. Here's the Dow on the screen. What you're seeing, every blip on the screen represents 1 day's worth of trading. The most recent one on the far right represents today. The Dow was actually higher by, I think, about 80 points at one point, but that was too far. Investors said, I'm not willing to bet anymore until I know what happens with this North Korea meeting. And so the market essentially finished flat. The Dow finished only up by 9 on the day. And so that's all just because nobody wants to take any risk ahead of this meeting. It's kind of like the Fed meetings back in the day. Nobody used to like to put on positions before the Fed made announcements. Nowadays, the Fed basically announces what they're going to do ahead of time. And by the way, the Fed's going to announce on Wednesday that they're raising rates another 1/4 of a point. It's not a guess. They've already telegraphed that. And so these days, it takes a certain special news event for people to want to sit back and wait. And given that, with the low summertime volume, you have a recipe for a very quiet market. Nothing that I would change or suggest to do anything with what happened today. If you're familiar with candlesticks, and I'll zoom in real quick. I'm going to do a class on candlesticks for our clients, but if you're familiar with candlesticks, you know that whenever you see something like what happened today, that is the need more information candlestick. That is basically telling you, I can't do anything with this. If I'm long and I own stocks, I can't sell because I've been given no reason to sell. If I'm thinking about buying the Dow in this case, I've been given no reason to buy. There's no real reason to buy. Whereas something like this over here, this big scary red one, that might entice you to sell a position. That's a strong down day. Over here, strong up day, that might entice you to buy. So with today, the movement in the market is basically saying, hey, we need more information. Can't make any new decisions based on that. And as you look across the board, the S&P 500 did the exact same thing. This is the S&P 500 futures you're staring at. By the way, if you watch us frequently, I'm going to try tomorrow to do the whole live streaming thing with a remote desktop and sort of show different charts and stuff, whereas the charts show up on the blackboard back there. I tried to play with it today. I'm not technically savvy enough, so I'm going to get some help, but we'll start tinkering with that. The S&P 500 was up 3 and the Nasdaq finished up 13, not quite to new highs. Remember, the Nasdaq has already made new all-time highs. That is your second best performing sector, second only to the Russell 2000, which is blowing the doors off of every single other thing in the market. So that's basically it. As I said, the Federal Reserve is going to raise rates on Wednesday. They start their meeting tomorrow. We'll start to get news from that. Basically, what they're going to say, and we already know this is what they're going to say, it's not a guess, they're going to use the jobs numbers from earlier this month where we got like 223 out of the jobs numbers versus like 180 something, so killed it on the jobs numbers. They're going to use the unemployment rate. They're going to use last month's payroll numbers to basically say, we're good. We can keep on our schedule. We have a healthy respect for where the market's at and where the economy's at, but we're going to keep raising rates. They will be walking a, a tightrope to basically keep everybody happy with what they're doing, but also say that they're monitoring the situation. Don't worry, they've got it all under control. We'll talk about that on Wednesday as well. So if you take a look at bonds did sell off again today a little bit. Basically, the rates just went up a touch. Nothing too crazy there. So nothing that I would report home to on bonds. Now, here's the crazy part. As far as stocks, I got next to nothing to share with you today. If you like Match.com, that was upgraded later in the day. One of the analysts said that Facebook won't be able to compete with Match.com and they'll be fine. If you like Southwest Airlines, the stock was up by about 1.2% on the day. Barrons over the weekend wrote an article that said the stock is due to make a comeback. This is Southwest on the screen. The symbol is LUV. By the way, thanks for the comments. I realize you can't see the ticker symbol. I'm going to try to change that for you tomorrow. Southwest has been on this year-long downtrend, and if you remember going back about a month, that's when unfortunately the engine blew out and it broke the window and the lady was sucked out the window and she died. So that is sort of still in the background of thinking about the sort of pain that these guys are going through. But nonetheless, the stock was higher today by 1.2%. If you're a technical trader, you're not impressed, right? You look at this chart today, you go, the stock did start higher. Unfortunately, if we zoom in, it finished well off of its highs. So again, talking about candlesticks, this sort of candlestick doesn't entice a technical trader to really do anything new in regards to buying the stock. It started off like it may be exciting, but remember, it did that before. It got all exciting and immediately gave back all the gains the next day. Today, it just did it all in one day. It started off exciting and gave back almost everything by the end of the day. So I don't know that anyone's going to be diving into Southwest Airlines anytime soon. I think it's going to take more than just that information. I've got lights going on and off. It's like a ghost light in here. If we stick with the airline sector, United Airlines up 3.2% today. If you're feeling fancy and you fly into Newark, but you need to get to Manhattan, they now have a helicopter service that'll fly you from Newark to one of the 3 helicopter ports in Manhattan. They'll even send a car for you. It's going to cost you $2,000, but they will do it for you. So what they're trying to do is continue with their marketing efforts to get people to fly out of Newark rather than JFK and LaGuardia. They're trying to say, hey, it's closer, don't worry about it. If you live in that area, you've noticed some billboards that show the wait times or the commute times between the different airports and some clever marketing that they've done to try to grab your attention. Basically, for $2,000, you can take a 10-minute flight on a helicopter. I think it's a little pricey. I don't know, I'm just saying. I think it's a little pricey. We got drones flying humans around coming out soon. So I'm not buying that just yet. But investors like that they're thinking outside of the box. And of course, technically, it's about to break out. And so technical traders got a little excited on that one today. If we go through the Dow, you got United Healthcare breaking out to new highs. That's one that we mentioned that was doing really, really well. What was I going to say? Doing really, really well in the Dow compared to some that are not. Chevron was a little bit higher today, and the other oils, because oil was up a touch. It was up 0.5% today. It's still working off that break of the uptrend if you follow that sort of technical thing there. Elsewhere, you got the semiconductors flat. Take a look at the candlestick today. If you're familiar with those, that's a need more information candlestick. You're not going to do anything special there. Same with the financials, not much going on there. That will change as the Federal Reserve solidifies the actual interest rate that they put out there on Wednesday. Gold on your charts there can't get over the 200-day moving average. That remains to be a focus for people. Gold in the meantime, no major expectations out of that. And you've got some earnings coming out. Nobody exciting that I want to talk about. Let me go to the S&P 500 real quick. Really a nothing sort of day market-wise. Some of the oil stocks higher in the oil space. Consumer staples higher in the S&P 500. The stocks that were lower on the day, no real news. Lam Research Popular one for our customers want to look at this one. I continue to think 180, under 180. You can have that one without making any specific recommendations. So that's what I have for you. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them now for you. And then we're going to cut it short because there's just not much to say today. All eyes are focused on the Trump-Kim Jong Un meeting. And selfishly, I'm hoping he walks out because we've got a little bet going on here. If you notice up in the background, the Reese's are still sitting up there, enticing me every day to eat them. Here we go. So financial investors, 42. Apple continues to start low due to Friday's article. Oh, thanks for posting that. I appreciate that. What ETF could you use for the Russell 2000? The most popular one's the IWM. That'll be your most liquid one with the most volume, about 30 million shares a day. Does the trick there. So that'd probably be where I would start. Josh, I have the S&P growth and value ETFs for large, medium, and small cap. Well, thanks for sharing. You got the, oh, okay, and then you listed the ones you got. All right, perfect. Perfect, perfect. What else do we have here? What's a good financials ETF? The most popular one, most liquid one is the XLF. That is going to be your large financials, by the way. That doesn't include the regional guys. So those are your big guys. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, things like that. Whenever I mention an ETF, by the way, oh, it's on the, here's the screen. Whenever I mention an ETF, it's always going to be liquidity first. Liquidity first, liquidity first. Okay, so it's not personal preference. Never going to be something that I have some sort of business relationship with anybody. It's always liquidity first. All right. There are certainly others, financial investors, pointing out. For me, liquidity first. Steven, they're going to go stale. I kind of hope they do, right? I kind of hope one day I give in and I go to bite into one of them and they're just not that good. Consumer goods. Hey, how did Smuckers do? That was my that's my jam. Smuckers, good recovery there. Very nice. Thanks for pointing that out, Punk. I appreciate that. I think they got robbed on that earnings, to be honest with you. I know they didn't quite make it there, but I think they got robbed. So Smuckers coming off the lows rather aggressively. Also sort of a waterfall drop there. Technical traders love that sort of thing, especially your options traders if you happen to be into that sort of thing. But that's for another day. Yeah, there's nothing in the Reese's, right? It's just an empty bag. You guys don't even know. I ate those like the other day, right? No, I have not. They're a fresh bag. If I do eat them, I will put a big sad face up there for the day that I do eat them, but I just can't do it. Can't do it right now. Can't do it, especially after going to Disney yesterday. Sort of pigged out at Disney World. All right, I'm going to wrap it up from there. I appreciate every one of you guys watching. If you happen to like what you see, if I've helped you in any way, or you like one of our other videos, hit the subscribe button. Let us know that you care, and want to hit the bell so let you know when we go live every single day, both right now and as well as earlier in the day. We do live classes to help you with your dough. Gonna keep your dough straight. We did our budgeting class for our customers over this weekend. Awesome reviews. Everybody seemed to loved it. That was awesome. I put a lot of time into it. I'm very thankful I was able to help. Generated a lot of questions, so I haven't gotten to you yet. I'm working on it, I promise. And we'll see. Talk to you soon, guys. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow.